This is Gangzilla 100. This is another episode of Travel and the Culture. This is a very special episode because what I'm doing is we did the travel part. Now we're doing the culture aspect of it. Um, this is one of my guests. This is one of my hometown family. He's a little younger than me, but he's been through the ringer. This is a young dude that has been through a lot. And with this episode, I want you guys to learn something. I want you to pay attention to his story and what he's going to tell y'all. This is what happens when you go through the wrong side of the ringer. Now we're going to fast forward to the good part. With him going to jail, being to prison 17 years, all the good parts that came out of this is he's a community activist. You know, he fights for civil rights. He's trying to get dudes out of prison. Um, He's against police brutality. So what I'm saying is I'm jumping forward because all the stuff that he's doing now, he's been through hell to get to where he's at right now. So all you young people, I want y'all to buckle your seatbelts because this is what can happen if you go down the wrong path. When you're not in school, when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, when you hang out with the wrong crowd, when you do the wrong things, this is where it can end you. 17 years in prison. This is one of my guys. This is one of my good buddies. We grew up together for years. I want to welcome y'all, Thomas Kearney.
That was a hell of an introduction. that was a hell of an introduction, and I'm gonna correct just a small portion of that a little bit. That's not necessarily what happens when you go down the wrong path, because there's so many of us, black, brown, who was in the wrong place at the wrong time, who did all the right things they were supposed to do, and still wound up either dead or locked up. I mean,
right, correct.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to make the same decisions and
you're absolutely correct.
There, sometimes the system works as the system was designed to work, and you'll find your way there anyway. I don't
absolutely correct.
I don't want to start it off as but I just wanted to throw that in there. I appreciate you. I'm definitely happy to be here on Travel and the Culture podcast. We got a history that goes back a billion years. I mean, our moms used to play spades together. I mean, hopping those. So we go back far. Again, I'm Thomas Kearney. You see the after the comma the CRPA after my name. It's a title that means almost nothing in reality, but it's now I'm a certified recovery peer advocate, a substance abuse recovery coach. That it's a license certification that was given to me by the state of New York after some testing and basic certification. I'm co-founder of Capital Area Relief and Liberation with two other amazing individuals from Catskill, New York. Taekwon Hall, who got more time in prison than me, and your family, Mercedes Brantley. We went through, as an organization, we went through a lot of growing pains. We were originally Catskill Area Relief and Liberation. We dumped some of the lighter complexioned individuals from our organization. We realized they didn't have the same mindset that we did on the path of Black liberation. But like, I don't know where you want me to start. Like, we're involved.
Hey, before we start, Current Bear, you want to give the information, the link, or any way they can reach you guys, or your Facebook?
Oh, absolutely. You can catch us at on Facebook and Instagram, Capital Area Relief and Liberation. Search either one of those, and you'll find us on Instagram and Facebook. Also on Twitter, even though we try not to mess with Twitter as much after the sale. It's turned into something that's really different and not necessarily in our favor, but that's where legislators organize, so that's where we got to be. Uh,
Is there anything else? Anything else you guys got going on that the world should know about that they can get in contact with, or that's it for right now?
if you're talking about getting involved with, if you're talking about getting involved with social justice work, we can go on for at least another half hour, and I'll run through all of that if you want to talk about it tomorrow. Tomorrow, which will be December 12th, 11 a.m. We're gonna be in Albany in West Capitol Park. I'm sorry, East Capitol Park, not West Capitol Park. East Capitol Park. Um, I'm emceeing along with an amazing individual, Iridian from the Columbia County Sanctuary Movement, and we're going to be launching the funding the extended workers and the unemployment bridge program here at Albany. It's on the Justice Roadmap. Shout out to Katie Schaefer, Communities Not Cages, and all those individuals doing great work out there. Rap Campaign, Buffalo, New York, who support. We're going to be out there tomorrow morning for FEW and UBP, which is basically two great pieces of legislation that is going to hopefully extend um, uh, benefits to excluded workers. You in Mexico right now, and there are a lot of individuals from that area who come to the United States and they work, they put in work, they are some workers are documented, some workers are undocumented. If you get a paycheck in the state of New York, you get a paycheck anywhere in America. One of the things that come out is unemployment taxes. But those workers who are documented workers or here on a visa, when if they happen to lose their jobs and they get laid off, even if they've been working the same amount of time as someone who, as a citizen, they paid into the unemployment program. But when it comes time to collect for unemployment insurance, they're cut out, and that's not fair. They pay into a program that they don't get the benefit of when they wind up in the situation. I mean, when they pay into it, I mean, they take them taxes out. They don't just take their unemployment taxes out. They take Social Security taxes out. They take all types of taxes out. The same way your tax gets checked. I mean, your checks, I'm sorry, your check gets taxed. The way anybody's check gets taxed anywhere across America, those individuals get taxed as well. And those funds come out, but when they come to apply, because you don't have a Social Security number, they don't have an opportunity to collect those funds. The same thing goes for individuals who are formerly incarcerated. Let's say you go upstate and you come home. They claim that you weren't employed, but those of us who did time know that, yes, we were employed. You had to mop the floor. You had to do laundry. You had to work in the mess hall. You had to do something. You didn't just most of the time, you didn't just lay in your bunk and do nothing. Like
Okay.
if you go into any capital, if you go into any state office building, county office building, go into your local legislators' office building on a state level, county level, town level, no matter what. Tip the furniture upside down. The chairs, go in and look at the bookcases. Open those metal steel cabinets. It says Corecraft underneath those chairs. It says Corecraft inside those cabinets. It says Corecraft on those bookcases. And it says that because Corecraft is the prison industrial complex. Those individuals were inside making those products that furnish every legislative building. So why is it that they're not entitled to unemployment when they come out? And especially since they were only paid like 10, 15, 20, 40 cents an hour at the most to do those things. When you go to social services and you have Medicaid and you get glasses, those glasses were made by the incarcerated community on the inside, the state of New York. All of them.
That's crazy.
Should be entitled to those services. They should be entitled to unemployment. During the pandemic, you remember how bad COVID-19 was. COVID-19, I mean, the hand sanitizer, that New York clean stuff that was seen all over the state of New York, hand sanitizer. There wasn't enough masks for doctors and nurses in hospitals. The incarcerated community worked 24 hours a day to pump that stuff out at a time when they didn't even have access to those things themselves. They said, we can't give them hand sanitizer. They'll drink it. We can't give them masks. It's a security issue. So they were making sure that we were safe out here, and they didn't have the same opportunities for the safety when they were in a much more congested,
hostile environment
than we were out here. And that wasn't fair. So to deny them the humanity and the safety that they made sure that we had when they come out is just unconscionable. We can't do that as a society.
Hey, bro. Now I was gonna say that. We that was a good point that you dipped into, but now I want to take it back to the beginning. I want to take it back to you. Now, you gave us a little bit of your resume. Now I want to start from the beginning of you, so your audience will get a little idea of how you came up. Your odds, what you dealt with, how you live, and then go from there.
This your audience. My audience locked up, man.
That's even better because YouTube, just for GP, can they watch YouTube in prison?
No, they got a program now which is different than when I was in the state. I just started seeing this when I was on parole violations. First at Ulster County Jail. That's the first time I ever experienced it where they have tablets. They have a program where they give you a little tablet. Is I think the company is Secure Link.
Yes, it's sort of like the welfare tablets, the free phones that they give out.
It's the same company. This is what you got to understand because this gets deep. It's the same company. It's the same company, and it's the same. It's the same security, and it's the same permissions. As far as your privacy goes. So if you have a free phone that's given by the government, it's ensured that they are reading your text messages. They are listening to your phone calls. They are looking at your emails. And you give them that permission when you get that phone, when you get that tablet. But that's going down a rabbit hole right now.
Yeah.
They do have that. They do have those tablets inside. And the tablets don't give you necessarily access to the internet. It gives you access to certain content that's approved. I'm just going to talk about New York. I don't know like where everybody else is. And I know this is, I only your podcast probably goes far and wide. But as far as New York State, you don't actually like have access to the World Wide Web. What you have access to is like what I had access to. I'm gonna keep it on the eye. What I had access to when I experienced that program was there was certain kind of movies on there that you could watch. There were some really good educational programs on there. I'm not gonna lie. If individuals want to take advantage of those, that might be just for the facility that I was in, which was Ulster County Jail. But the educational programs on there were very, very good. I mean, they taught coding. A lot of it was above my level. But that's what I like to do because that's the way I only feel like I can learn is if I'm engaging in things that are above what I already know. That's just me. But there was coding. There was a lot of history stuff and science and physics. There was a lot of good things in there. There was movies in there that's just supposed to keep people, engaged. You could use the phone on there, and they didn't have this when I was there, but they have it now, which is there's an app on there called JPay where you got to pay to send emails back and forth to loved ones. But they don't have YouTube. They don't have YouTube.
Okay. Now, I want to start from the beginning. We went down the rabbit hole a little bit, so we got the introduction of you. You know what you're doing. As far as and they see your intellectual level is grade A. You know, your intellectual level is grade A because you meet guys that come home from jail and they're still stuck in the 80s and the 90s. We already know that. We have friends and family that are still in that time, but you were way above your intellectual level, and I appreciate that and I see that. But I want to start back from the beginning to let them know that you wasn't always intelligent as you are now. You were intelligent. Don't get it twisted. But let's start from the beginning and give them and let's start from A and then go on and then your experience going the things you got into leading to you going up to prison, your experience, your first day, your experience in prison, what it was like and the steps you took and how you move in jail.
I that's like that's a lot. That's a lot. And starting on September 13th, 1981 is a lot too. I mean, we're gonna be here going through birth and like what is it that I'm a typical kid, man. God, Catskill, New York. Grew up in Catskill, New York. Shout out to Catskill. Shout out to all the Catskillians, DeVille. And definitely shout out to all the people who have a similar story that I do. That I mean, Catskill. A lot of people don't know it. It's a tourist town in upstate New York, about
We
30
have the
miles south of
mountains, we have
Athens.
rivers,
30
you
miles,
know,
yeah.
horses,
There's boats and
cows, you know, we have all that.
and
Just to let y'all know, and it can get dangerous here.
there's Hoppin'-Nose. There's Hoppin'-Nose.
Yes.
There's Hoppin'-Nose. And Hoppin'-Nose is the public housing in a town where most black and brown people grew up, in a town that didn't want black and brown people in it. That's just saying what it is. My graduating class, Catskill High School, was probably what it was me, Searle, Glenday, Ian. There wasn't more than 7 black folks in my graduating class. I can tell you, there was DJ Styles. Shout out to Vic Styles, who was in there. I didn't see him my whole time I was in high school, but he was in my graduating class. I love you, Vic. You in Florida doing your thing. I hope to see you. Hope to see you soon. And my condolences on the recent passing of your pops. But like it was I can't like describing Catskill growing up like it's weird. There was nothing that was for us. You know what I mean? There
Yep.
was,
So let
I
me
know you know what I
just
mean.
to
But you
just
grew
to
up there too.
just to piggyback off you,
Yes.
what Biggie says, Biggie Smalls was our anthem. He said either you slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot, and that's basically.
I ain't play ball.
I mean, and so that's I'm just giving you the basic
I
that
didn't
there it
play
is.
ball.
So we
I
have
didn't play
basically
ball.
no choices. We have either you graduate from high school.
Yeah.
So we grew up with all the kids in high school. The white kids that we grew up with, their parents worked with all the guys that had the jobs. So it was like a generational thing. So
Absolutely.
if like the guys we grew up with in high school, their parents knew the guys that was hiring for the summer.
And
So
I remember the names. And I'm not here for that. I'm not going to shout out the names of the privileged people that was in there and shit. Y'all know who y'all was. Y'all know who y'all was. Y'all know how that shit turned out. But what's crazy about that, and one of the things that I had a conversation with somebody recently, was that a lot of those people who, when we were growing up, who we thought had everything, who we thought were those privileged, I mean, a lot of them did good, a lot of them did great, but a lot of them also fell victim to what we were expected to fall victim to.
that was a great way to put it.
Addiction. They went down a path that wasn't meant for them, because they had everything else going for them. They had that person that they can call when as soon as they graduated high school. Yo, I need a job. We didn't have that. We did not have that, but they had that. and they still wound up there. And this is what like when I got this is while I was inside and listening, and when I first came out, this is what made me realize that something else has to be going on. It's because it's not all about. I think about, you remember St. Pat's, man. You remember St. Pat's. For those who don't know St. Pat's in Catskill, New York was a private Catholic school. But they grades only went to, I think it was only elementary. I don't think they did. I don't think they went past 6th grade. I think once you got into junior high school, St. Pat's was done. So you have these children who were sheltered, who got everything, who didn't experience a single well, I can't say a single day of hardship because I don't know what their personal lives were like. That's going too far. That's going too far. Who didn't have to experience the same things that we experienced as growing up as the have-nots. And these individuals, once they hit the public school to prison pipeline system that was Catskill High, was wide open because they didn't get the same conversations that we got from our parents when we were younger. They didn't know what to look out for. They didn't know, nah, you should not. That looks like fun, but that's not really fun. They didn't get that. They got the idea of stay away from them. That's what they got. They got to stay away from them conversations.
And let's piggyback off that real quick. You guys had it hard. We had it harder. Because you got to remember, when we was coming up, we was warring. You know, we was poor. We was poor, but we had each other, so we was all good. You got to realize, Hoppin' made us. Hoppin' made us a family. Hoppin' made us one big family.
Great, bro.
Because we was all together. You know what I mean? I mean, there's nights when I would go and eat at your house. You would come eat at my house. And if I was hungry, if you was cooking out, we was cooking out. If we was cooking out, you was cooking out. So it didn't matter because we was always sheltered from each other. Well, see what Hoppin' did for us. It sheltered us from all the outside bullshit that we had to prepare ourselves for, and we got strong by just being us alone. And then once we got to the outside world and we couldn't get them jobs, we was already ready for it.
Bro, when we got the Hoppin', we was home and there was love there. No matter what happened in school, no matter what happened at jobs when our parents was going to work, when they got back, they were home. There was love. Shout out to your mama. Shout out to Miss Sharon, man. Shout out to Miss Joanne. Shout out to Miss Patsy.
Yes.
Shout out to Miss Wilburn. Shout out to Lady Blue. You know what I mean? Shout out to Miss Mama Kate. Shout out to Miss
Kate is still moving.
Yes, still here. Shout out to Darnie Moms, man. Come on.
Yeah. Miss Nelly. Miss Nelly.
Yes. Yeah, shout out, man. They were still pillars. There were pillars in that community that it is something that so many of us are doing our best to recreate, but we can't. That'll never be replicated. It'll never be replicated at all. There was just so much love. And when I say love, I mean even love and discipline. Even love and discipline. My mama was at work and your mama saw me out of line. She checked me immediately. And
that's how it was.
Mama the moment she got home. And then my mama checked me immediately.
That's how it was.
And it was even worse because she was upset that somebody else had to check me. That was community, bro. That was us taking care of each other. And there's no way. I don't think I would have been who I am now if I did not possibly grow. If I didn't have that. If I didn't have all of that when I was younger. There's no way that I can't think of a possible way that I would have the mental that I have and the idea of community that I actually have, and the fact that we should be looking out for each other on a different level than sometimes we do. I'll just leave it there.
Okay, there. Now we're gonna go on to we did childhood. Now with you, we're gonna skip and go on past your childhood, past the the things you did that takes you to the next part of your life down the rabbit hole to the wrong choice. And and I always say this, Bear. We wasn't all bad. It was just the choice. It was just the choices that you make and the situations you're caught up in. That could lead you down the wrong
Let me say
path.
something to you. Like, I got my upbringing wasn't too different from yours. And
It wasn't at all.
you ain't been nowhere near prison. My upbringing was not it wasn't no, we was in the same environment, bro. We're in the same environment. When I actually got caught up, I was in Cobleskill. I left Catskill. I was at SUNY Cobleskill as a culinary arts major. I left. I mean, I left because I was running from some shit, but I left. I had to go. You know what happened in 1998, 1999? Them
No,
boys.
Bear.
Well,
Listen.
I'm
Now,
still
now that it's over, we can bring
because
this out on the
they
table.
don't. We know they don't know.
Yeah. So
It was a
let's
lot of
bring this
shit.
to the let's bring
It
this
was a
to the
lot of shit
forefront.
happening. It was a lot of shit happening. Top Row was lit. Top Row was lit. Open air drug market in a small ass in a small ass tourist town, and most of the Catskill police was in on it. I'm most of the motherfuckers was dirty. My language, my bad. Most of the precinct was dirty. Seriously dirty. I mean, I remember times when an officer would pull me into an alley. Hey, Mr. Kearney, take my money, leave to work. Most of the so at that time, the local police didn't do nothing. The feds came through. That's a short story. Feds came through. It was one person who shall not be named who pretty much took down the whole thing, and that's how that happens. That's how that happens. And I don't know how I got through that because, in a sense, there were so many times that, and I was young at that time. I graduated high school. I was 17. That was in 1999. In 1998, because I was one of the younger ones, like the least would happen to me. You know how that goes in the game. I'm the one who's I'm the one who makes the trip. I'm the one who makes the trip. So there's a couple times, and there was trips made. And so if during this time there was an investigation going on, there's no way that I'm not on one. There's no way that they don't have me on one of them trips. That's just how it goes. I remember being also with with one of the individuals who wound up getting wrapped up at his crib, where the motherfucker who actually told actually got him on the wire. And so I'm thinking about all of this, and I'm like, I gotta do something. I can't. I mean, the sweep was already done. The sweep was done when I made the decision. It was already done. But I'm like, but I'm still stupid. I'm still I'm still not thinking clearly. I still have absolutely zero direction. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just out here. I had no direction outside. I can't say I had no direction because my mother was my direction, and and I would be lying if I said that that she didn't do everything in her power to put me on a path that would. But there comes a time when our influences are no longer our parents, and we listen more to the peers that are around us because we may want what they have or want what it looks like. We realize now, as a grown adult, we wanted what it looked like they had because it wasn't really there.
It wasn't nothing.
It wasn't really there.
It wasn't nothing.
As far as like it was there, but it wasn't. It wasn't what it looked like, bro. It wasn't what it looked like. And I still got absolute love for and that's not to say, and I don't want it to seem like I went up and came out, they make the same mistakes again. Because sometimes, you know, put it in the bag. Put it in the bag and give it to somebody. It's easy. It's the easiest, dumbest trap on the fucking planet. Right? If you know where to get it, put it in the bag and give it to somebody else, and you'll pay your rent. It's the dumbest trap ever, but we all fall into it. But like I had left. I went to college, bro. And because I had when I graduated, I had 2 years of culinary arts from high school vocational. So that was the first thing that came to my mind. I gotta get out of here. I gotta do something. SUNY Global Skill, culinary arts, they got a good culinary arts program. Let's go. And I went. Shit lasted 4 months. Shit, it lasted 4 months, and it lasted that. It was that short of a span because I didn't go for the right reasons, right?
You wasn't going to better yourself. You was going to get away.
I was going to get away. There was in the back of my mind, yes, because I'm the type of individual that likes to like I like new information, especially like cooking. I love cooking, and those vocational classes when I was in high school that sparked my interest because I got to learn new techniques. I got to learn like I learned how to cook from my mama. I learned it from my mama, your mama, from people in the neighborhood that threw down. Like for real, I learned how to cook. So when I got there, I knew how to cook. I knew how to cook as far as, but I didn't know. I wasn't at an international cuisine level.
No, you wasn't.
I was trying to learn different techniques.
Yeah, it was commercial. You just commercial level, basically commercial level.
I was trying to learn different stuff. So it's not like. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So when I went there, it wasn't because I was really trying to. I was just trying to get away on some real shit. I was trying to get away. So I brought Hoppin'-Nose with me, and it didn't work out right.
Before we go on,
yeah,
I've been through this. You know, all my struggles, all my problems through life. You can go to Brazil, you can go to the beach, you can go into the jungle, you can have $1 million. If you don't change yourself, you're going to run with the same problems no matter where you go. It doesn't matter where you go. If you don't change yourself.
Right. Who was it? Come on, man. We know that this is when rap was conscious. No matter where you go, there you are. You remember that line? We're going to break. We're going to crash. We're going to flow. Here we go. Yo, kill it. We won't come back. That's no matter where you go, there you are, bro. You can't run from yourself. You can't run from yourself. If you I don't care if they put you in the next space shuttle going to the moon, bro. If you still have the same mentality and the same thought process and the same survival type behavior, because that's what it was. I was trying to survive. This is what's crazy about that is like when I applied to college, I was still young, and they used my mother's last year tax return in order to determine how much financial aid I was going to get and how much I had to pay for myself. And this is part of my escape. I'm escaping. So we put this together, and we go into I get evaluated and they look at this shit. Yo, my mom's made probably like $27,000 the year before, bro. Raising three kids. 27 grand, bro.
And
Do
you
you
guys got to
know
let
that?
that sink in.
You do you
What?
know that? Do you know? Do you have any idea how much my bill still was after they factored in her shit? That this was a time when they had just cut. They had just cut that Pell and Cap. They just I had to pay for my own books. Pay for my own books, bro. You know how much books are? Do you have any idea? So, so they gonna pay for me to be there. They pay for my room and board. That's cool. What am I doing without books, bro? What am I doing? So what did I do? I went, you put the stuff in the bag, you give it to the person who wants it, and that went wrong. That went completely wrong. That went completely wrong. Somebody got something that I gave to them, and then when it came time for them to give it back, it didn't work out. A lot of stuff disappeared. A lot of stuff disappeared. And the individual that actually did it transferred kind of around the same time. They kind of left. And it was the end of it was like the end of it was the end of the semester. It was a party. This girl I was talking to. And this would listen to women. Listen to women. She told me it's the end of the semester. I've done some of my exams, and I think I got another one coming up soon. I don't remember if it was the next day or soon, but I should have been studying. That's why I should have been. But I go to this party, and this individual who disappeared happened to be there.
Wow.
Now this individual was there with a bunch of their friends, and I'm there. I'm there with a couple of my friends. We all go out. It's like 3 or 4 black people I hang out with. We all go out, and they just happen to be at because the parties that we went to were the parties where people wanted stuff. That was just what it was. I'm not going to no other party. What am I here for? I don't like y'all. I don't know y'all. I don't. I really. This is what I mean. We can pretend to be friends all goddamn day, but whatever. But what happens is like I see dude, and I'm trying to. It's horrible. This is the worst story fucking ever. I don't know who's calling me. Jewel Chestnut's calling me. That's different. That's different because Jewel Chestnut never calls me. Um, what happens is like I see dude that I'm looking for, and I go to make a beeline to this dude. Yo, Jewel is calling me. Yo, I need to pause this for a second. Jewel Chestnut never calls me, bro. Give me 1 second. Let me mute it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what it is, you guys. So, what you guys got to realize is the culture. This is what we live the whole life. I lived this. What he's saying. This is what we did. The white guys had the good weed. What we would do growing up is we would give them, the white girl or that hard stuff for the weed, and that would be our relationship. And so this is how we survive. You can't blame us. This was our environment. This is the only thing. This is the only thing we knew because, like Bear was saying, his mom made $27,000 a year with 3 boys. Just imagine that. Like, just imagine making $27,000 a year with three grown men, with 3 grown boys. You know what I mean? And this is how we all lived. And it was all great. Are you back? You ready?
Nah, I need 1 second. She texted me right there. This is different.
Okay.
Miss Jewel never calls me at
Yep.
all.
Yep.
At all.
But so just for the piggyback off Thomas, like when he says $27,000 a year, this is like the basic. This is what we did. This is how we survived. Wintertime, school year, we would wear each other's clothes. I had three brothers growing up, so and my mother went through jobs, and she had a good job. Went through jobs. We was always moving. We lived good until you know till we had a couple bad rough situations in our life. Then we moved down to Hobbino's, and then we stayed there, and that's how we all became a family. So that's how we all grew up. Like the Hobbino's for us was one big sanctuary where all our problems, their problems became my problems, and everybody that had problems, we solved these problems together. That was our mo. That's how we lived. So we lived at a dead end, and it was beautiful where we lived because like the white culture stuck us at the bottom at a dead end of the street and built the sanctuaries where they didn't have to worry about us and keep us out of the way. And we was fine with that. We all lived happily. We had no worries. And that's basically a black, that's how we grew up. That's how we dealt with society. We dealt with things. We dealt with them through us. And yes, the cops was crooked. The cops would take our weed and smoke it with my uncles. I remember the cop would used to take my weed and smoke it with my uncles and everything. It told me, I'm gonna smoke this with your uncle tonight. That's how we grew up. We didn't have to worry about police brutality, because our life was good. The police, we knew them. They knew my uncles, in our era. So the police officers in my era, I went to school with them. I went to school with the police that grew up and been cops, or the cops that was taking my weed or taking my money. They went to school with my uncles, and they went to school with my aunts. So they knew us all. So even the police, it was it was cool for us because even the police knew us. So we didn't really have to worry about jail because all they did was take our money and take our drugs, and they party with it. So our era was totally different. Are you back? You back,
However,
man? I can't hear you.
yeah, I'm back. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
all
back.
right, yeah, go
Yo,
ahead.
pardon me, man. I never got through. I don't know what's wrong with the connection, but it might be a scam. You know how that Facebook shit happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I tried to call the phone number and that didn't go through. So I'm just we gonna pray everything good and we gonna move on from that. But you absolutely right, man. What was I saying?
Oh, you
Oh,
was at
I made a
was beeline in the party.
I was at the party and I made a beeline to the dude that I saw. I gave it an opportunity. I was trying. I'm walking through the living room. I see them in the kitchen, and I try and get. I'm trying to get to him. Trying to get to him. There's nothing good on my mind. At that age, I was 19, 19, 20, and 20, 25, 20, 25 bands was a lot of money to me. In
Yes.
hindsight, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. I had nothing. There's nothing that could possibly fucking compare. So I'm making my way there, and I bump into somebody on the way. Tall, white guy. It's fucking Cobble skill, right? Um, and he says some shit that I didn't fucking like. But he was in his area, and he was surrounded by his people, and there was only a couple of my people there. You know how that goes. You've been at parties in Palinville, I'm sure. You've been at parties in Carroll, I'm sure. And and, and watch where you going, fucking nigger happens to come out of somebody's mouth every once in a while. This happens. And and that's what fucking said. I spilled like my drink that I just got it in the door. I paid to get in. I got a scoop of jungle juice in the cup. I didn't really get to enjoy it yet. and most of it went on me. But he's been there for a while and he's lit. He's lit, right? So, he feeling himself. And I was stupid. Like that shit at that point as young I'm not gonna say I was stupid. That does not give myself enough credit. I was emotional. I was way too emotional. And I was already upset because he interrupted me now from getting to the individual I'm really trying to get to. And so now we arguing. What the fuck you say to me? What the fuck is you? Now that. Now the dude I don't think there's a back door. I don't think there's a back door. There's one way in, there's one way out. But now this dude, and now, this other dude's friends are, gathered around. They heard the shit, music kind of a little bit lower. Everybody's feeling like there's about to be a fight. The dumbass scene that dumbass kids do is there's testosterone, there's way too much alcohol, there's drugs, there's music, there's half-naked women. We all letting our nuts hang in here. With that's what we're doing. It's stupid. Makes no sense. Hindsight, it makes no sense at all. But this is what we're doing. So, he beeps, yo, blah, blah, blah. We can go outside. Blah, blah. Not going outside. I swung. I hit this dude one time, Nux. I only got to hit him one time. I hit him one time. He flew backwards. I think I might have put him out. I'm not sure. But when I hit him, or his people now jumped on me. So now I'm getting it. There's like 2 or 3 more black people in there that I walked in there with. And we start, they start helping, blah, blah, blah. Fight winds up outside. It's wintertime now. It's wintertime. It's December 10th, 2000. Somewhere around there. It's cold. It's cold as fuck outside. It's below freezing. We outside scrapping. The Bridge Apartments in Cobleskill is where the party center was. That's what it was called. It's called the Bridge Apartments. We're at the Bridge Apartments. We're outside fighting. There's his people and there's my people. I don't see this guy again. Some point, this shit gets broken up. It's the Bridge Apartments. There's 2 old ass Barney Fife cops that come down there. Most of the time, they used to go in there and drink with us. That's what these two old ass cops would be in there doing keg stands. They wasn't really police. They wanted a piece of action. They wanted to hang out. They liked being around the young girls. They were perverts who shouldn't have been around kids hanging out like that. So when these 2 Barney Fife cops come, everybody breaks up. No bullshit, bro. I hit that dude one time. One time. Not even the dude I was looking for. Fight breaks up. We all go back to our dorms. The next day, the cops are around. They knocking on doors. They asking questions. The dude that I wound up fighting, I'm not sure. I'm not even gonna attempt to surmise how this shit happened. They found the original dude that I was having a fight with in the back of the apartments. He was out there all night. I don't know who he was fighting. When the fight spilled out, maybe his part of the fight went another way, but he was in the back of the building. He's in the back of the building. He was hurt. He was hurt. He's just there. I don't think he had broken bones. His injuries was more internal. Like he was kicked, stomped, and he had frostbite like a motherfucker because he was outside. The temperatures that night, I think they said at my trial that it went down to like 18, 17 degrees, something like that. And he was outside. There was a shed behind the apartments. He was back there in that shed or around the shed area for hours. I think like 13 hours before they found him. fucking long time, bro. And he was just out. He was unconscious. So they trying to figure out what happened. And I'm young and I'm not naive to the police coming around asking questions. I say how this shit goes. But at this point, I'm thinking about like what happened and what I did, and I'm still talking too much. Like when it came to, yeah, I was there. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about, because when they're telling me what happened, I'm thinking with an innocent mind. I'm thinking with an innocent. No, I'm not thinking with an innocent mind. I'm thinking of a mind like, yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was involved, but that shit, nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But that didn't work out in my favor. It didn't work out in my favor at all. There was individuals. There was two of the individuals that was there with me, that went to the party with me. Neither one of them went to school there. Well, no. One of them went to school there. One of them went to school there. Yeah. And one of them did not. What was being said was that the one who did not was the one who may have put, did what happened. So it got to a point to where now, coming to question, I don't know what to talk about. Coming to question me, yeah, I was there, but it ain't really that serious. And then like, yo, who was the other dude that was there? Nobody recognized this other dude who was there. Did nobody seen him before on campus? Nobody knows who it is. You need to tell us who this was. Because I was the one, because I admitted, like, yeah, I was in an altercation. Yes. And they didn't tell me a picture. They didn't show me a picture of it. They gave me a name. Fuck's name? Adam Jarvis.
Hey,
Adam Jarvis.
there.
That person, yeah.
We're gonna stop right there. 52 minutes.
All right.
52 minutes. This is our time limit for our show today. This is episode 1. This is how I'm gonna get you guys. This is our co-host series. Ain't this beautiful? So they ready.
You're a funny dude.
This is how we do. I make the episodes about 35 to 45 minutes. This is 52 minutes.
Hey, yo, to everybody out there who was listening, I did not know this dude was going to do this shit.
And I didn't tell them people. I didn't rehearse this with them. I didn't tell them.
Yo, he left y'all on some Kardashian cliff.
And I didn't tell him I was going to do this, but this is where I want to stop.
Unsubscribe right now. He found. He's going to make me tell this story for the next 2 years. Yo, unsubscribe.
This is episode 1, people. This is episode 1 of me and Bear just traveling the culture, man.
He gonna traumatize me day after day. You see, this is why you don't. This that Catskill shit. This is exactly what it is.
But I just want y'all to know, man. This is our first episode. We have tons of episodes. This is one of my new co-hosts, and we got tons of stories to tell y'all. Well, this is the beginning, people. So we're gonna jump into deeper. We're gonna jump into him after his trial, jumping into his trial, his jail time experiences, all the stuff he went through, and then we're gonna get deep and deep and deep into the rabbit hole. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode because I want to keep y'all on your toes, and I think I did an excellent job of that today. What you think, Bear?
Yo, you did great. Now that I know what you're gonna do, I know to talk faster. I know to talk faster. I know to sit back and not give you too much information and make you actually do your job and ask some questions. You gonna do that. You gonna do that. Yo,
but you guys,
I appreciate you. Thank you. I'll catch you the next time. You let me know when it's happening. Yo, was there anybody in the was it lit or was it not?
Yes.
We'll figure it
This was
out.
our to me personally. I just
It
wanted to
don't
get
have to
these
be.
jitters out.
Let me tell you something. I'm used to doing work in the dark. I'm used to that. I don't care nothing about it. I don't care about how many people is there. I hope somebody sees it, and if it helps one person, that's what matters.
And
That's
that's
what
what
matters.
this is
If, it,
what the
if, you, if
culture
you
part
reach
is
one
for.
person, you reach one person and help. That's what matters, bro.
Bear, this is what the culture part is for. We do the traveling, and this is what the culture part is for. I need guys like you to come on. See, another thing too, what I don't want to do is, you know how these guys have all these stories with all these guys that, oh, my man did this and my man did that, and they're telling the story, and the guy that's been through this stuff is not telling the story. That's not real. So this is why I have a ton of ammo. I got 3 or 4 or 5 guys that's really been through the ringer, including myself, that can help you guys, that can help these youngsters and help you guys get on the right path. So we're just starting, man. This is traveling the culture. This is the culture part, episode 1. So y'all
I,
get the strap. I
I
want
hope
y'all to
it
know
does.
what's go time. All right.
This is what I want to know. I want to know why my man Fly Guy Impulse ain't bring us in or bring us out, man. What that mean?
Oh, we'll
What that
get
deal
that. We'll
going
get
to
that
be?
done. And we'll get that work done. So we'll expect Fly Guy and folks to come on next, man.
We're gonna
I'm
do that
expecting
with
to
the
see him
edit.
next
We're gonna
episode
do
too.
that with the edit. We're gonna put that Catskill music on there.
Yes, sir. Stay up, my dude. One love. I love you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
Love you.
All right, bro.